I'm talking about clean and soapy fragrances today. This is a video that you guys have been asking me to do, especially since I did that video on office safe fragrances. These can be office safe as well, but these are more soapy, clean, very clean smelling fragrances. And soap is generally known for clean, of course, so that's why I'm calling these clean and soapy fragrances. So if you want to find out about these clean and soapy fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today I'm talking about soapy fragrances, clean and soapy scents today. These are all very, very clean smelling. And it's interesting that a lot of fragrances that feature orange blossom and Neroli is what I should say, generally smell like soap to me. And there's also fragrances here that have either a soap note or some kind of a note that is known for soapiness. So those are all here in this particular video. I'm also using a few other fragrances as well. I've got two bonuses that are very clean and somewhat can be soapy as well. So just an overview of a bunch of different fragrances that I feel like are very, very clean and soapy. And you're going to find out what they are. Before I tell you what they are though, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you still haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So do you guys enjoy soapy fragrances? Do you associate clean and soapy together? This is interesting because I've always loved soapy smells. As a kid, I've gone through all the little departments in stores and used to open up not only the containers of cleaning solutions and shampoos and things like that. I'd go to the department where they have all the bars of soap and I'd smell every single one of them. And I love the way soap smells and I associate it with cleanliness and clean. And these also are very, very clean smelling fragrances. And as I said, they can definitely be worn in the office, but these are also perfect for hot days when you sweat a lot. And that kind of like subconscious association with cleanliness, with smelling clean soapy fragrances, is also kind of perfect to use when it's you know, the days when it's really, really hot and humid and sweaty. So this is not a ranked video. I'm going to start off right off the bat with the soapiest fragrance that I have here. It's a new one from the house of Comme des Garçons. That's Marseille, this one right here. This is the ultimate in soapy fragrances, inspired by a city known for soap, Marseille, the south of France, and every time I go there I pick up soaps from there because their soaps are quite phenomenal. I love those soaps there, so I bring back a bunch. But this is really literally very, very soapy, featuring notes of Neroli, Musk, Cosmone, Petalia, orange blossom, woods, and amber. Just a great, great smelling fragrance. It literally smells like a clean, expensive bar of soap. There's powdery touches, there's musky, clean touches, and lots of floral touches. But of course we've got these citrus florals in this particular fragrance. Wonderful smelling fragrance. If you like soapy fragrances and you're looking for a new one, you've got to get your nose on this one, as I think it's quite great as a soapy, clean soapy fragrance. So Marseille from the house of Comme des Garçons is the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about. This fragrance is a fragrance I started wearing in the early 2000s, and it had just launched when I just joined a brand new gym here in San Francisco, and I'd wear it to the gym as a clean soapy fragrance, and then also I'd wear it after a shower after the gym. So this is from the house of Mugler. It's cologne, and the story is Terry Mugler had gone somewhere in Morocco, I think, and he smelled the soap and he came back and wanted to create a fragrance out of that soap. So there's definitely soapiness here. It's green and citrus floral and lots of it. It's Neroli, Bergamot, Petitgrain, Musk, and orange blossom. See, these notes just always are associated with soapy fragrances. Neroli, orange blossom, and in this case you've got the Petitgrain, so you're using basically bergamot, which is actually citrus, the actual fruit. So the juiciness from there, the flowers, the Neroli, and the orange blossom, plus the leaves, the Petitgrain, and then of course throwing some musk. It's clean, it's fresh, it's invigorating, it's sparkly, and it's a perfect soapy fragrance. Mugler cologne. This is the latest edition from Mugler, so that is a great fragrance to talk about and let you guys know if you don't know about that one. But the next fragrance I'm talking about is from the house of MAISON Margiela and the replica fragrances. This is Bubble Bath. So this is definitely soapy, clean, and fresh, powdery as well. And you know, some of those expensive bubble baths, or even the less expensive ones from the, you know, grocery store, I like those smells, you know, and I like to take a bubble bath and smell all clean and soapy. And this is exactly that. So there's definitely a bubbliness about it, and there's effervescence here as well. And I think there's something like I think there's some aldehydes in here, and I think that's what they're using to create this bubbly fizziness. So with this fragrance, it's soap, bubble, clean accord, coconut, musk, lavender, jasmine, bergamot, and rose. So they've actually created an accord with a bunch of different notes. Most likely there is some citrus florals in here. There's probably some aldehydes in here as well to create this kind of like fizzy citrus floral kind of a thing that takes on a smell of soap and clean you know, notes and things like that. So this is Bubble Bath from the house of MAISON Margiela. The next fragrance I'm talking about is from the house of ETAT LIBRE Orange. This is Exit the King. Exit the King has a soap accord in the notes. And it's a chypre style, so it's foamy, it's oak mossy, so it's got a classic chypre styling to it, but very modern and clean at the same time. So if you like the chypre style of fragrance and you like something kind of in a soapy direction, a clean direction, definitely try Exit the King. So the notes in this one, it says soap, foam accord, moss absolute, jasmine, and patchouli. And yes, the patchouli is prominent here. You can totally smell it. And yes, it'll remind you of a chypre styling. And of course, it's also very, very clean and soapy. I like that about it. So it's kind of got some classic touches and also modern touches mixed in together for a wonderful smelling clean fragrance. So ETAT LIBRE Orange Exit the King, a great fragrance from the house of ETAT LIBRE Orange. And the next fragrance I'm talking about is from the house of PENHALIGON'S. This is CASTILE. So this one actually, I think that's a city in Spain, right? Castile, aren't they known for soap? Are they, or is it not a city? Anyway, it's associated with soap for me because I've bought Castile soap before, and I really like the way these kind of, you know, soaps are kind of luxurious and kind of soft and smooth and silky when you're using it to bathe with and things like that. But this to me is mostly about orange blossom and the citruses once again. It's orange blossom, Petitgrain, bergamot, musk, woods, and rose. So it's a great combination of a very orange blossomy fragrance that takes on the style of a soapy fragrance. As I always say, orange blossom, neroli, those always smell like soap to me, and this is the ultimate in orange blossom. So it's very clean and fresh and citrus floral kind of an experience with citrusy touches and muskiness, and then of course some green, the leaves of the orange tree as well. So we've got Castile from the house of PENHALIGON'S, a great smelling fragrance if you like clean and soapy fragrances. Alright, next up, going to the house of L'Artisan Parfumeur. This is Sur l'Herbe. So this one, once again, it's just very citrusy, but it's very fresh, and it's also very musky. And this one actually, even though it's using the neroli and some orange blossomy touches, there's some greenness thrown in there. There's some green accords or notes thrown in there. So it adds a nice contrast of fresh green experience along with the soapiness of the neroli. And then there's also bergamot in here, musk, there's lemons, and amberwood. This one to me seems very fresh and effervescent, so it's sparkly. There's a sparkliness about it, but it's ultra clean and fresh, and it's also very soapy, just a right amount of freshness with this one, and it's perfect for hot days when it's really hot outside. I think all these fragrances are, as I said, perfect for the office, and also perfect to wear when it's really hot outside. The sweat thing kind of gets to me when it gets really hot outside. So these kind of fragrances are really kind of subconsciously making me feel clean and also smell great. So Sur l'Herbe from the house of L'Artisan Parfumeur is a great fragrance. This next one's from the house of NISHANE. This is Colognise, this one right here. Once again, very clean, very fresh, very citrus floral, and also very soapy. It's a great smelling fragrance featuring bergamot, neroli, green tea, jasmine, musk, grapefruit, lemon, muguet, and vetiver. Muguet is basically lily of the valley, so there's definitely a green touch here. Muguet or lily of the valley has a green experience. There's also tea here, so the entire fragrance has a calming effect to it, also smelling very clean and soapy and fresh and green at the same time. Wonderful fragrance. This is NISHANE Colognise at number 8. Again, this video is not ranked. This next fragrance, I featured it probably now in 2 or 3 videos. I think this is the 3rd video within the last 2 weeks. I'm going to the house of DUNHILL. This is Century, this one right here. So I featured it in a Cypriol fragrances video, I featured it in an underrated men's designer fragrances video, and now I'm featuring it in a clean and soapy fragrances video. This one has loads of Cypriol along with Neroli and Orange Blossom. So there's this contrast of this kind of earthy woody note of Cypriol with lots of soapiness. So it takes on a different kind of a soapy characteristic. So it's Cypriol, Neroli, Sandalwood, Musk, Olibanum, Cardamom, Mandarin, Orange Blossom, Bergamot, and Grapefruit. A lot of great notes in here. It's mostly citruses, it's lots of aromatics and lots of woodiness and earthiness. It's a great smelling fragrance. It does smell like clean soap and also kind of like laundered clothing or sheets and things like that. A wonderful smelling fragrance. Plus it's underrated. Not a lot of people talk about it. And then also it reminds me a little bit of Santal 33 from Le Labo. So it's got all great things going for it. Check it out. DUNHILL Century is at number 7. The next fragrance I'm talking about is from the house of Byredo. It's Sun-Dazed, this one right here. And this one, I mean, as soon as you smell it, it smells like fresh soap, like clean soap. And once again, we've got Neroli here. It's lots of Neroli with lemons. So lemons, Neroli together, very, very clean and citrusy, very, very soapy. Then you've got mandarin orange, you've got musk, you've got some cotton candy, jasmine, sambac. So there's some floral touches. You've got these sweet touches thrown in there, but in the end, it's this beautiful bar of expensive smelling citrus floral soap. Really, really great smelling fragrance. It's perfect for hot days, as I said. So Sun-Dazed from the house of Byredo, a great smelling fragrance. The next one I'm talking about is from the house of Costume National. This is J, this one right here. So J is another citrus floral bomb. This one takes it into a little bit of a different direction. In the end, you've got the Neroli, lots of it. It's mostly a Neroli bomb here, but you've got some mandarin orange, and then you've got some cherry blossom in here. So kind of an interesting smelling floral note, but orange blossom as well, in addition to the Neroli, with rose, lime, rice, cashmere wood, cedar, and moss. It smells really, really great. Costume National is such an underrated designer house with very, very niche style fragrances. Like, their fragrances are not like your conventional, very common designers. So they're really, really great fragrances. Plus, they're not that expensive in comparison to, let's say, for example, these remind me of like luxury niche collections of the designers, the private blends, the exclusives, but they don't get up to the price of those kind of collection of fragrances. So that's why I feel like they're really, really underrated, very, very quality fragrances. Definitely deserve to be, you know, discovered and hyped. So Costume National J, very, very clean and soapy, fresh fragrance that definitely deserves to be discussed and, you know, discovered as well. Next up, going to the house of Louis Vuitton. It's Sun Song, and Sun Song was the trio of first collection of California themed fragrances that came out. Sun Song, Afternoon Swim, and then Cactus Garden. This to me is kind of like the soapy citrus floral take on the collection. Definitely inspired by California, as I said, and it's focusing on the citruses that grow here in California. But you know, we've got lots of lemons here, you've got lots of orange blossom, bergamot, neroli, jasmine, and musky notes. The combination is really, really delicious. Very, very fresh, very, very citrus floral, citrusy, plus also musky, but very, very clean and soapy as well. Definitely has a great smell. Really, really a wonderful smelling clean fragrance, and perfect to wear when it's really, really hot outside, or as I said, these are perfect for the office as well. So Sun Song from the house of Louis Vuitton is a great, great fragrance. Next, going to the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is Petite Matin. You know, I wanted to pick a couple more from this house. I didn't want to make a very long video, so there could have been a couple more from this house, but I went with Petite Matin. And for me, Petite Matin is the soapiest of all the Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrances. And I love that about this one. Very, very clean and soapy, but sparkly. There's definitely definitely like an aldehydic touch in here because it's effervescent, like it's fizzy. Like if you open up a can of Coke or something and then the sparkles, you experience that. It hits your nose when you smell it, but it's very, very juicy and citrusy with lots of lemons. And you've got orange blossom here, musk, lavender, ambroxan, and hawthorn. Really beautiful, very, very beautiful kind of smelling fragrance. And again, perfect for the office or when you want to wear these clean soapy fragrances in the summertime. So this is Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Petite Matin. The next fragrance is male targeted, and the one after that is female targeted. But those of you that like soapy fragrances, definitely check them out. This is Prada's Amber Pour Homme from Prada. Amber Pour Homme to me is like smells like powdery soap, but kind of once again going in the direction of the orange blossom, neroli kind of a thing. But this one also has these spicy notes and resinous notes as well. So it's definitely very, very clean and soapy, very, very fresh and powdery as well. And it's featuring notes of saffron, neroli, myrrh, musk, orange blossom, vanilla, labdanum, leather, tonka beans, orange blossom. So eventually it settles to an amber. After all, it's called Amber Pour Homme. But man, it's just like a soap bomb, powdery soap bomb, you know? That's what it smells like to me, and I like that about it. I recently found some really great deals on this at Fragrance Net, some testers, I snatched it up. I don't know what the status of this particular fragrance is, but I really think it's a great, solid, clean smelling men's powdery fragrance. So, Prada Amber Pour Homme at number 2, again, not a ranked list. And the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is a feminine targeted release. This one to me is so soapy, but it's kind of like a powdery, creamy soapiness, and it reminds me of COMME soap. I don't know if you guys know this COMME soap. I remember as a kid, I used to know all the names of the soaps because I used to like study them and smell them and kind of like, you know, figure out what each one smells compared to the other. This is Guerlain's Le Bleu EDP, and it's like a very, very luxurious version of something like a COMME soap. Ones you would go to an expensive soap store and you walk in and it smells like this particular fragrance. But this one to me, it's iris, heliotrope, vanilla, benzoin, sandalwood, carnation, violets, cloves, neroli, ylang ylang, tonka, and musk. There's that neroli in here, and I think there might even be some orange blossom. But the combination is amazing actually. Even though it's a ladies targeted fragrance, to me it smells like a very, very clean and powdery, slightly sweet and vanillic, lightly almondy as well, kind of a soap. Really, really great fragrance. I love that about this one. This is Guerlain's Le Bleu EDP, and that's the last fragrance for you guys today of these clean and soapy fragrances. What are your thoughts on these fragrances? Do you enjoy these particular fragrances? Do you not like them? Does it not smell soapy to you? If you have other soapy, clean fragrance suggestions, let me know. Put some comments down. I'm always looking for soapy fragrances, so I'd love to, you know, explore more fragrances. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. So I've got 2 bonus fragrances for you guys, and these don't necessarily smell like soap, but they're very, very clean. And I think there are some soaps like this out there, like glycerin soaps. I don't know if there's such a thing as something smelling like this, but this is a fragrance I also featured for office safe fragrances from the house of Akakapa. This is Muschio Bianco, this one right here. Sure, it could kind of have this kind of soapy like smell to it. It's white musk with aldehydes, lavender, juniper berries, lemons, and cardamom. It's musky. It's also a little mossy, plus it's fizzy and aldehydic, and of course some aromatics and some spices come in as well. There's definitely a little bit of a citrusy touch in there, but I think, you know, you can totally get away with something like a soapy, kind of a unique, kind of a soapy smell. So this is Akakapa Muschio Bianco. And then the last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Laurent Maison's Aldehakes, this one right here. This to me smells so clean and effervescent, and of course it is Aldehakes. It's called Aldehakes because it's focusing on aldehydes, but it's clean with white musk, very, very clean with the aldehydes. It's fizzy, plus you've got cashmeran, heliotrope, bergamot, and jasmine. So there's some citrusy touches there. There's some floral touches as well. But in the background, you also experience a little bit of an almondy powderiness. But overall, though, it's a very, very fizzy, musky experience, but very, very clean and musky, and of course soapy as well. So this is Laurent Maison's Aldehakes, and that's the last last fragrance I'm talking about today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Stay tuned for more videos tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.